afternoon and welcome to Brewing. After a short hiatus, I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler. Today we're going to focus on last night's presidential debate. Thanks for coming back. Sorry about my disappearance there. Hopefully that doesn't happen often. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I had some life things that I had to straighten out. I believe that I'm straightened. I also believe that I'm drinking beer on a Wednesday. I go back to work today. I've had a vacation. A real vacation. Just to get some things clear, I didn't have a nervous breakdown or anything. I haven't been in a psych ward, although sometimes it feels like a psych ward around here. But no, as you can see, happily in my living room. Girlfriend, kids, dog. Don't know what the dog is. And beer. I only have one beer left. This is from the 12-pack of Sam Adams that I bought 2 weeks ago. It's my last one. But I didn't have enough coffee. And I thought, it's brewing, I've got to drink either coffee or beer. So I went with the beer. And it's tasty. But only having one. I don't work till 5, so we'll be all good. You can tweet me live during the show at Scott Leffler. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to see what you think about the things that I'm thinking about. I would love to get a haircut again. Didn't I just get my haircut? Why does it feel like I just got my haircut? And yet it's doing things. I don't like it. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about the debate last night. Now I know what you thought. Now, different people think different things. Everybody seems to think that their candidate won, which is a good thing, right? You want your guy to have won. I don't have a guy. I don't have a candidate. I don't like either one of these guys. We'll get more into that later. But the polls, there have been some independent polls that were done immediately after the debate. And you know, all the TV stations do their own thing. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Who won the debate? The polls seem fairly unanimous that the debate was won by President Barack Obama by the narrowest of margins. It did seem like a boxing match, didn't it? I mean, it even looked like a boxing match with them like going around each other like that. I was really waiting for somebody to, but never happened. So everybody thinks their guy won. Personally, I'm going to agree with the majority here. I thought it looked like the president won. Now, that may be due to my own personal bias, because I don't like Mitt Romney. I don't like him. Why don't I like Mitt Romney? He seems, he kind of seems like a jerk. Like, that's really the only way I can put it. Like, he comes across as being so out of touch and having no clue what is going on. Here's an example. The debate last night. One of his points, like, ooh, the middle class is going to love me because he doesn't want the middle class to have to pay interest on their capital gains or savings. I don't know that the middle class does much in capital gains. I mean, occasionally, yeah, you sell a house or whatnot, but for the most part, we don't get much capital gains income. So him saying that, I'm not going to have to pay on my capital gains, that doesn't really help me that much. And him saying that I'm not going to have to pay on my savings, ooh, thank God. I didn't want to have to pay interest on that $6 I have in savings, right? It seems to me like Mitt Romney is he's just not in touch with the rest of the world. He's certainly not in touch with us. Like, not with me, not with you. My personal opinion, you might think differently. So let me know what you think by tweeting me at Scott Leffler. So we're not going to have to pay interest on our capital gains or our savings. Ooh, big deal. Of course, one of the big problems here, from my point of view, is what is considered middle class? Because I think both these candidates are using the same figure as middle class. I know that Mitt Romney has said frequently on occasion, does that, I don't know, he has often said, he has said numerous times, he has said frequently, he has said from time to time. He's said it, all right? I don't care when he said it or how often he said it, but he has said that middle class to him is $250,000 or less. If you make $250,000 less, you're in the middle class. I have a feeling that either Mitt Romney is unsure of what the word middle is, or he's unsure of what class is. I'm fairly certain he's unsure of what class is, but $250,000 is not middle class. If you make $250,000, I'm sorry, you're not middle class. I don't know how many of you out there are making $250,000 a year. To those of you who are, awesome, phenomenal, glad to hear it. Become a sponsor of Brewing, because, I like money. And you apparently have a lot of it. Because to me, $250,000 per year is, forgive my French here, a shit ton of money. All right? So if you make $250,000 a year, you're doing pretty well. That is not middle class to me. The median income, according to the last census data, beer is so tasty. I'm upset that you can't drink it all the time. $250,000 a year is not middle class. The median household income in the year 2011, according to census data, was $50,054. Now that is household income. That's two people earning money. Because, let's face it, in most households, there's more than one breadwinner. There's more than one person making money. I think breadwinner is the person that makes the money, right? And then the other person, like whoever makes less, is not the breadwinner. Whatever. There are two people out there earning money. I know that when I was living with my wife, we both had jobs, and we both went out and we earned our money. And yeah, we probably made somewhere in that median income range, that medium household income. I would have loved it if we had made $250,000 a year. We didn't. Never, not once. Yeah, not even close. So, and yet I consider us to be middle class. I consider myself to be middle class. I certainly don't make $250,000 a year. No matter how rich you think the media is, I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy out there making $250,000 a year. I wish I were. If you want to give me a job that makes that, cool beans, I'm in, I'm down. Well, depending on what it is. But I feel like Mitt Romney has no idea what middle class is. That said, I don't necessarily think that Obama is all that familiar recently with middle class either. I don't feel like, and this is one of the problems for me, this is one of the reasons I don't like Mitt Romney. And this is not an anti-Mitt Romney show. So if you tuned in and you're like, oh, he's just going to bitch about Mitt Romney again. No, not true. I'm going to bitch about everybody. I'm going to bitch about everything. That's what I do. I need to drink this more slowly because I only have one, and it needs to get me through the show. But it's so tasty. Look, I don't think either one of these guys is really that familiar. Hey, I think if I do that, it's a little better. Sorry about that. Working on lighting. I don't think either one of them cares about us. I don't think either one of them cares about me. I don't think either one of them cares about you. I think they want our votes. I think that if you are like my average viewer, you're living in the state of New York, and they don't really care about your vote because Obama's going to win New York. Boom, done. But I don't think they care about us. I don't think they care about our plight. I don't think they care whether or not we have jobs. I don't think they care whether or not we have food. I don't think they care whether or not we have anything. I just don't think they care whether or not we are, quite frankly. And you know what? I don't care. I don't necessarily want a president who spends his time worrying about Scott Loeffler or spends his time worrying about the middle class, for that matter. I want a president who is worried about America. All of America, not just the middle class, not just the lower class, not just the upper class, not just people with stocks and bonds, not just people who, have blue-collar jobs. I want a president to move the country forward. And I mean the social fabric of the country, not us. That's our job. It's my job to get a good job and make money. It's your job to get a good job and make money. I am not middle class because Barack Obama is president. I would be no better or worse off, in my honest opinion, if John McCain had won. I think we'd be in exactly the same spot. I don't think the president controls nearly as much as we think they do. That said, I still want a president to move the country in the direction that I think the country needs to go in. So, look, when's the last time you were at McDonald's? I personally have not been to McDonald's in, I don't know, probably close to a year. I love McDonald's. I love McDonald's. I used to work for the McDonald's Corporation. I've mentioned this before. You would think that given that, I do this hand thing. This was pointed out to me the other day. There's part of me that's Italian. Obviously, my hands are part of it. When I think, I didn't realize this was pointed out to me the other day. When I'm thinking, I sit there and my hands move. It's like my brain is in my hands, and if they're not moving, it's like a shark, except my hands are the gills. I didn't realize that. It didn't matter in radio. In radio, I could do whatever I wanted. Nobody cared. Nobody paid attention. Nobody saw, except for my guests. Here, people see. They see what I look like. They see that I need a haircut, despite the fact that I just had a haircut. I know I already mentioned that, but I'm mentioning it again, and there's nothing wrong with that. When you go to McDonald's, there's a manager, a person whose job it is to make sure that you're happy. However, if you believe for a second that person gives two shits about whether or not you are actually happy, you're delusional. The manager at McDonald's and the crew at McDonald's cares if you're happy to the degree that they want you to come back and spend more money so that they will still have jobs. That's why they want you to be happy. They don't really care that you're happy. They don't really care that you're satisfied. Just like Barack Obama and Mitt Romney don't really care about you, with the exception of the fact that they want you to vote for them. Now, when it comes to the middle class, and here's a distinction between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney knows that the middle class is not his bread and butter. So he actually doesn't only not care, he could care less, or couldn't care less. That's always one that's confused me. Could he care less, or could he not care less? I think he could not care less. I've always said couldn't care less, except I just said could care less. Mitt Romney couldn't care less whether or not the middle class is happy. They're not his peeps. He wants their votes, but for the most part, that's not his constituency. Now, Obama, on the other hand, that is his constituency, and he will work for them. That's what he's out there trying to do. He's trying to work for us so that we'll be happy, so that we'll vote for him, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, I don't think they care. And again, I don't know that I want them to. Back to the debate. So they're both up there, though, trying to be in the center. Mitt Romney started out way over here on the right. Barack Obama started out way over here on the left. And now they're both, like, trying to be as centrist as possible so that the whole country is like, wow. Meanwhile, the left and the right on each side is like, it's all good. It's all good. When he gets elected, he's our guy. Because that's kind of what happens, right? You primary on your side, then you move to the center for the election, and then after the election, you kind of move back to your side. It's what every presidential candidate has done for years. By the way, there aren't sides per se. There is no left and right. There is different political ideology, but to say that there's left and right makes it it's false. It's not the real political spectrum. There is no left, there is no right, there's people, there's opinions, and the left and the right are actually they're both basically the same. Democrats, Republicans, basically the same. I've believed this for years. You can't convince me differently. There are minor differences, but for the most part, the left and the right are basically the same, and they follow each other around. Right now, we are, despite what you will hear on Fox News, and despite what you will hear your conservative friends telling you, right now we are on a rightward tilt, which is why both sides are talking about tax breaks and tax cuts. If we were on a leftward tilt, we would be talking about tax raises more than we are. Now, Obama is talking about raising taxes on these people up here. These people that you and I aspire to be someday, but probably never will, and that's okay. But for the most part, we're still on this rightward tilt, whatever. So each candidate is out there trying to do their thing, trying to get your vote. Who got your vote last night? Who did you think won? You saw the debate. I'm sure you saw it. Everybody saw the debate. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm watching. And there was a Yankees game too, right? And this is how I know the debate is important to people. Because usually when there's a Yankees game, that's all my social media feeds are. It's all about the Yankees, and I hate the Yankees. Last night, I wasn't even aware that there was a Yankees game until like the end of it, because everybody was posting about the debate. Everybody was posting about what was going on stage in Long Island between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. It seemed like the only thing going in the world, and that's awesome. I think it's great that we are involved in that manner in the political process. But who did you think won? Did you think your guy won? Everybody thought their guy won. What about those of you who don't have a guy? I know that there are people that watch the show and they're still, not that they're necessarily uncommitted, because maybe they're committed to somebody else. I'm voting for Gary Johnson. I know that now. I've known it for a while. Unless something really crazy happens between now and the election, I'm voting for Gary Johnson. He's the Libertarian candidate. He is, in my opinion, the best mix out there. But how sad is it, by the way? And we're back to talking about the two major parties, the left and the right, despite the fact that that's a misnomer. How sad is it that this is what we have to choose from? I mentioned this in my column this week. If you don't read my column, please, you should. You can find it online, and just Google Scott Loeffler, you'll find it. There are hundreds of millions of people in the United States. And out of those hundreds of millions of people, the best we have, the best we can come up with is these two schmucks? How sad is that? I can't get over that. I can't get over what a crock it is that we have all these people. You've probably got better ideas than some of these guys. You've probably got better ideas than Mitt Romney or Barack Obama. And all you need is a chance, but you're not going to get a chance because you're not a millionaire. Only millionaires win. And that's really sad. So, did you think Mitt Romney won last night? Did you think Barack Obama won last night? I want to know. Tweet me, @ScottLeffler. Just go to Twitter, type in @ScottLeffler. I think so-and-so won last night. And tell me why. What is it that they did? The pundits say it was a draw. It was close to a draw. But I thought Barack Obama won for a variety of reasons. Here's one of them. This was a phenomenal line. And a lot of it, look, the debates are part substance, but they're mostly flash, right? They're mostly sizzle. I like steak. Do you like steak? Who doesn't like steak? I like the part of the steak where you eat it. I like the meat part. But there's something fun about cooking steak and the sound that it makes and the sizzle. Debates are partly meat. But when it comes time to decide who won, a lot of that is decided by the sizzle. And one piece of sizzle last night was a great line. Mitt Romney's talking about his 5-point plan. I've got a 5-point plan. There's a 5-point plan. 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. I feel like I'm watching, oh shoot, what's that show? What's that new show on BBC America? Copper. Have you seen Copper? Copper is a great show. You need to watch it. Anyway, Copper takes place in 5 Points, which is part of New York. It's the same part of New York that Gangs of New York took part in. Did you watch the movie Gangs of New York? Another great one. I don't know what it is about that place, that area at that time, but it's fun. Mitt Romney's got this 5-point plan, and he laid out the 5 points, and I listened to them, and they sounded kind of like crap to me, to be honest with you. But he mentions he's got a 5-point plan. Obama comes back, and it's a boxing match all night long. They're doing this and this, and they landed a few blows. Obama says, Governor Romney doesn't have a 5-point plan. He has a 1-point plan. And then he went on to say what he thought the 1-point plan is. I've been saying all along that Mitt Romney he has one idea. His idea is to get elected. And then after that, he'll figure out what the hell to do. Because really, just in watching him, in listening to him, in reading his comments, in seeing what it is he does and how he interacts, really, it seems to me like he feels like he'd be better than this guy, and just elect me and I'll figure everything out. Now he's trying to come up with this plan, and he's got this 5-point plan. I wish I knew what it was, but I don't, because frankly it doesn't matter, because it's all crap anyway. But Obama says he doesn't have a 5-point plan, he has a 1-point plan. It's like, boom, right there. That was in large part the debate. Now, for each candidate, there were some downsides in the debate. Mitt Romney, for example, was asked, how are you different from George Bush? Question is, I feel like the 8 years before Barack Obama sucked really bad, and I don't want to go back there. How are you going to be different than that? And Romney stumbled. He's like, well, I'm not George Bush, and I have different ideas than George Bush, and I've never been George Bush, and I am not now, nor have I ever been a member of the George Bush party, and George Bush and I are different, and these are different times, and he didn't have a 5-point plan, and I do, and he really didn't answer the question. He really didn't ever get to the point of like, look, this is what George Bush did, this is why I would do something different. And a large part of that is because I think that economically they're the same. Obama comes back and he's like, look, he's not George Bush because George Bush wouldn't do all these horrible things that Mitt Romney wants to do. He almost said, basically Obama almost came out and said, look, George Bush was a vacation compared to what this guy, the nightmare this guy's going to be. That had to have done well for his base. I don't know how it did for the undecideds. I think that there might be some undecideds who, like the person who asked this question, was like, yeah, that's my fear. I don't want to go back there. Obama's point all along has been that, look, the nation is messed up. And, like, we had 8 years of, like, complete disaster that I've got to mitigate. And so I need time to do that. 4 years hasn't been enough. I thought it would be. It hasn't been. Which leads me to a question that Obama stumbled on. Guy said, look, I voted for you 4 years ago. I'm not particularly thrilled. Why should I continue? Why should I vote for you again? And Obama goes, well, it's been a hard 4 years, and we're trying, and the things that we haven't accomplished, we're going to accomplish in the future. That's my Barack Obama impersonation. Do you like it? My daughter says I sound just like Barack Obama. I don't think I do, but whatever. It's my Barack Obama impersonation. So, basically, Obama's like, look, I don't know, man. I have no idea. Just do me a favor and vote for me. Which is basically the same thing that Romney's saying. He's like, look, vote for me and I'll figure it out. And Obama's going, look, vote for me and I'll fix the things that I didn't fix the first time. Do I believe either one of them? No, not really. I think that they're both con artists, but whatever. There was another line during the debate last night, and this has taken the internet by storm. And it seems like every time there's a debate, there's something that's like, bam, yes, the internet can live again. Last night's line was, they were talking about equality for women, and Barack Obama was talking specifically about the Lilly Ledbetter Act, which requires that women make the same amount of money as men, which is a novel concept, isn't it? Because statistically, apparently, women make 77% of what men make for doing the exact same jobs. Now, considering the fact that in many households, women are the breadwinner, that's really sad. The thought that, look, so I love my job, and I make a decent amount of money. I'm not rich, I'm not poor, I'm in the middle, I'm middle class. The thought, however, that my employer could hire someone equally capable as me, not that there's anyone equally as capable as me, but in theory, let's say that there is someone with my exact qualifications, but just happens to be a woman, the thought that they would pay her less kind of disgusts me. And it should disgust everyone. So Obama says, look, this is what we want. And Romney goes, well, I think there need to be more women in the workplace, and in fact, when I was out looking for people to run my companies, I wanted women. I was like, why can't we get women to do this? And I said, find me some women, and they brought me binders full of women. Stop the internet, because boom, suddenly new meme. It's like that line just reinvented the internet. Within minutes, that's all it was. Binders full of women, binders full of women. And of course there's jokes. One of my favorites was Bill Clinton, and it's a picture of Bill Clinton. He goes, stop the debate, I want to hear about these binders. Because, well, he's Bill Clinton, right? So, in attempting to appear non-sexist, Mitt Romney comes across as being uber sexist, because now he's talking about these binders full of women, and it really has backfired on him. I think, now it's not a 47% backfire, but I think that I think that a few days from now, we're going to look back and we're going to see that binders full of women hurt Mitt Romney. And it's just something he said was like off the cuff. He's like, I got these binders full of women to try and get jobs. I don't believe in that either, by the way. I don't think that, look, I'm running a company, Leffler Co. All right, and we make widgets. And I need a new vice president of sales for my company, Widget Co. Leffler Co. Making widgets, sorry. I want the best candidate. I want the best candidate. If that candidate is a woman, cool. If that candidate is a man, awesome. If that candidate is black, that's fine. If that candidate is white, no problem. If that candidate is a Portuguese woman with one leg who has, I don't know, a black gay lover. Like, if that's the best candidate, that's the person I want. Because I don't care about all that shit. And neither should anybody else, neither should Mitt Romney. So Mitt Romney's like, why don't we get more women? Let's get binders full of women and get them in here. Like, it comes across as, kind of comes across as bullshit, in my opinion. Forgive my French. It's French Day on Brewing. So I think that hurt him. Forget Big Bird. Everybody wanted to be Big Bird for Halloween. Nobody's going to want to be Big Bird now. Now everybody wants to be binders full of women. Within minutes, it just owned the internet. I checked Twitter just before the show, and it was still trending on Twitter. Hashtag binders full of women. So I feel like both candidates did well last night in their own right. I feel like Barack Obama did better. I feel like he stumbled less. They talked a little bit about Libya. They talked a little bit about Benghazi. I think that this whole incident in Benghazi is being exaggerated. Did you notice, by the way, Barack Obama mentioned the war in Libya? Anybody notice that stumble? I'm surprised there hasn't been more made about that. I really expected there to be more made about the war in Libya. It made me wonder if, like, did he just tell us something that we're not supposed to know? Or is that the October surprise? Oh my God, it's mid-October. It's October 17th. It's past mid-October. Do you know how I know that? Because mid-October is my birthday. My birthday was 2 years ago. I'm 38 years old now. I am an adult. No, I'm not. I'm still a kid, but I'm a 38-year-old kid. I had a great birthday, by the way. I spent it with the people I love. My daughters came over. We watched some movies. We ate some cake. We cuddled on the couch. It was a good time. My girlfriend came over to end the night. We watched a movie. We drank some wine. It was a good birthday. Not all my birthdays are good, by the way. Some of my birthdays have been not so good. This one was one of the good ones. So to those who, and like I got 4 billion people on Facebook that were like, happy birthday, Scott. Not 4 billion literally, but I may exaggerate from time to time. It seemed like there were 4 billion people that were like, happy birthday, Scott. Thank you. To those of you who said happy birthday, I really, really appreciate it. You helped to make my day special. So I still want to know, who did you think won? Democrats, I found, think that Obama won, and Republicans, I found, think that Mitt Romney won. I think that part of that is believability, and it's back to the fact that I don't believe that Mitt Romney cares about you, and I don't believe that he even pretends to care about you. I think that Obama has to care about you in the same way that a McDonald's manager has to make sure that your hamburger is right. It's their job to do so. I don't think that Mitt Romney thinks that that's his job. I think that you're part of the, well, not necessarily part of the 47%, but you're definitely part of the lower demographic that Mitt Romney doesn't care about. So that's what I think. I think that's it for today. I still have most of my beer left, so that's good. I will finish it after the show. And I'll brew more coffee because I like to do the show with coffee during the week. And now I'm going to have to get more beer for the weekend, but that's fine. I'm excited about that. I have a 2-day work week now. Not forever, just this week. I work today and I work tomorrow, and then I have the weekend off again. And then I work for a full week. I think I work 2 regular weeks in a row, and then I have like another 5-day weekend. So I'm excited. I really needed the break, by the way. I'm sorry for not having been here the past few days, but I needed to be me. And I wasn't me, and if I'm not me, I can't do the show. That's just all there is to it. Live video, it requires composure that I simply lacked. But I'm back. I'm me. I'm doing this. I'm happy to have you here. And do me a favor. After the show, continue to send those tweets. Let me know what you think at Scott Leffler. So I will be back tomorrow. I have no idea what we'll talk about, but we'll talk about something. I'll take your tweets live. I'll talk about what I'm thinking, and we'll have fun. Lance Armstrong. Bad day today for Lance Armstrong. Sorry to hear that, Lance. But, c'est la vie. It is what it is. You've been watching Brewing. I've been your host. My name's Scott Leffler. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.